What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Ralphdatrader here, back with another video. Today's video is going to be a short video. I just want to break down the trade that I took today during the New York session on the Nasdaq. I also want to just break down the trade that happened during the Asian session as well. We had money laying all over the floor today on indices. So congratulations to everybody that participated in. Either you was a seller or you were a buyer, but there was money laying all over the floor today with the indices. All right, so let's get right into this breakdown. All right, so first off, like I always like to share with you guys, the daily signal that I like to look for is the inside day and the closing breakout signal. Okay, so as you guys can see here on the left hand side of the screen, I have the 15-minute time frame up, and on the right hand side of the screen, I have the 5-minute time frame up. And as you guys can see that on Monday gave us our signal day. All right, Monday gave us the inside day signal. Now, what is the inside day signal? The inside day is when volume, all right, all of price action closes inside of a previous day's high and a previous day's low. All right, so we put the Nasdaq on our watch list. Now, that doesn't mean that we're going to get a setup that next day. We just put it on our watch list, and then when we come to whatever session that we are trading, we look to see how price is behaving. Now, to go over the trade that happened in the Asian session, the Asian session gave a beautiful, beautiful pump and dump. All right, from the high to the low. All right, this was a beautiful, beautiful setup during the third hour. All right, third hour it happened because 8 p.m. first hour, 9 p.m. second hour, third hour, 10 p.m. All right. So let's just break down this trade. So we have our signal day. All right. And as you guys can see here on the 15-minute time frame, it nice pump, gave a nice pump up here. All right. Triggering breakout traders. All right. We also broke out on the day, giving us a signal on the day because price breached the previous day's high level. Now, some traders took this, depending on, whatever setup that you're hunting. This was a 100 pip move. All right. This was a 100 pip move. And as you guys can see here on the 5-minute time frame, it was a nice call. All right. All price action is inside of our EMA. All right. So this was a nice 100 pip nail and bail trade. All right. But the trade that I want to go over is the pump and dump. Okay. The pump, the coil, and the dump. And as you guys can see, like I said, we had a market that broke out. Okay. We had our daily signal inside day. Price also gave us another signal on the day because we triggered the previous day's high. And as you guys can see, around that 9, heading into our third hour, price was accumulating sideways. This is where they're just collecting orders, and pay attention to where they're collecting orders at, right at our 00 level, guys. Right at 00, top part of our 100 pip box. Price coils sideways. Okay. On a 5-minute time frame at 10:25, you got a candle that closes right back inside of the EMA. This is a momentum candle. All right. We have no wick at the top, no wick at the bottom. All right. We have a momentum candle here, and this could have been your entry. Okay. If you're on a 5-minute time frame, you could have entered here, or you could have waited till you got a full candle close back inside of the 20 EMA and enter here, entered at the level. It's all up to you. You could have entered at closing price. It's all up to you. And as you take a look at it on the 15-minute time frame, as you guys can see, we had the nice pump coil, and we got the nice dump all the way to the previous day's low. This was a beautiful, beautiful trade, you guys. All right. So we had the nice pump, coil, dump. So we had our signal day. We had another signal where the market broke out on the day, and we had our setup, the pump, the coil, and the dump. All right. So that's all we got to look for. Look for the pattern. Look at the pattern. All right. This is the same thing. Pump, coil, dump. That's exactly how this set up in the Asian session look. Pump, coil, dumps. All right. This is what you guys need to train your eyes to see. Train your eyes to see the pattern. You got your daily signal. We got a signal on the day breaking out. We get our pump up in the first hour. All right. First hour. Second hour, we get the coil sideways. Third hour, we get the dump. All right. Now let's go over the trade that happened during the New York session. Okay. As you guys can see, during the New York session, during pre-market, we broke out on the day again. We have our daily signal. We have no major red news until 2 p.m. We get a market that breaks out during pre-market on the day. All right. So now we don't do anything until after 9:30. Well, I don't do anything until after 9:30. All right. So as you guys can see, 9:30 opens up. Stop hunt. All right. This is a stop hunt candle. All right. Breaking back through our previous day's low, 9:45, the market immediately it reverses back to the upside, giving us our trap and shift. Now, if you take a look at it on the 5 minute time frame, all right, 5 minute time frame, as you guys can see, you get a nice 1, 2, 3 to the low. This is old school Stacy Burke. So if anybody that follows Stacy Burke, back in when he was doing the whiteboard days, this is old school Stacy Burke. 1, 2, 3 to the low. Okay. 1, 2, 3 to the low. 9:45, get a little indecision candle. Now, for me, this is what I did because I did not like the way that this candle closed. Okay, I did not like the way that this candle closed. So I waited until the 950 candle broke the high of that candle. So my entry was here. Okay. So my entry looked like this. This is how my entry looked. This is how my entry looked, guys, because I did not like how this candle closed. Now, if this candle would have closed as a pin hammer or an engulfing candle, then I would have been in at the numbers. But due to the fact that this candle closed as a indecision candle, I waited until it broke this 9:45 candle wick. Now, you could have waited until, this candle closed, okay? Depending on what time frame you're on, you could have waited until this candle closed on the 5 minute. Now, if you're using the 5 minute entry criteria, you want to wait until price closes back inside of the EMA, all right? And then you can still take your entry right at the numbers, okay? Or if you're using the 15-minute time frame, if you look at it here on the 15-minute time frame, you can see you got a nice tweezer bottom down here and 10 a.m. club, 10 a.m. club, you're in there. And as you guys can see that this trade ran. Okay, this trade ran. It ran, guys. It was just money all over the place today. It just ran. And then as you guys can see later on during the day, it gave a pump, coil, and a dump. All right. For our people that like to trade, around 3 p.m. Pump, coil, and dump. But just to break down the trade that I took, this was the trade that I took, guys. Like I said, we had a nice 1, 2, 3 to the low. I got this indecision candle at 9:45, so that wasn't my entry. The price did not confirm to me that it wanted to go long yet. Buyers were still weak in the market at this point, but we did get the 1, 2, 3 to the low, 50 pips outside of the 100 pip box is the stop hunt. All right. And then I took my trade right here as price broke that wick. So, and that was my trade. So we had the trap and shift. So we had the trap and shift on that one, you know, trap and shift. All right. 10 a.m. club, trap and shift, buy low setup. That was the trade. This was my trade today. This was a beautiful, beautiful trade. We had our daily signal. All right. We had our inside day daily signal. All right. Then next thing we do is we wait to see how price behaves in the session that we're trading. Okay. And like I always tell you guys, this is the only thing that I do, you guys. I don't do anything else. I don't put anything else on my chart. This is it. All right. Because once you understand candlestick patterns, guys, and you understand what it is that you're looking for, you don't need to draw any more lines. You don't need to draw any more boxes. You don't need to do any of that stuff. To be honest, you want to make it as simple as possible. Okay. Make it as simple as possible. And that's just what I have done for myself. Have my two daily signals. I know the setup that I'm looking for is either going to look like this. Okay. It's either going to look like a trap and shift like this, or is either going to look like this, a pump, a coil, and a dump. So if you can just train your eyes just to see this, okay, pump, coil, dump, or same way in the reverse, dump, coil, pump, or train your eyes to see trap and shift and just wait for the session that you're trading. Okay, don't be trying to trade all throughout the gap time and all that, because of course you're gonna have moves during that time. But pick you a session and a time to trade. Okay, pick your session and a time to trade. For me, I'm mostly focused on trading inside of this window. All right, from 9:30 to 10:45. That is where I'm looking to take trades at inside of this window. Okay, I don't want to trade anything outside of that window. I'm training myself to trade inside of this window. All right, so that's all I got, man. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like always, man, work hard, stay disciplined, and be patient, and know that your time will come. And be the reason someone smiles today. Be the reason someone smiles today. Peace and love. Have a good one.